Hey guys, you are welcome to this week's video. And without wasting your time, even though you know you're supposed to like, share, subscribe, comment, we will just get started. All right, so today's video, we're going to be talking about the Global Talent Visa. And I am speaking about this because I'm a recipient of the Global Talent Visa or the Global Talent Endorsement. And I'm not this video may help someone who is maybe going to apply very soon, but I'm making this video for people who are looking to make their application between the next 1 to 5 years. What this means is that all I'm saying in this video, or all I will say in this video, will help you prepare better and put your um your evidences together. Now, you also need to understand that, as at the time I'm making this video, there have been a lot of people who have come to say, oh, I was rejected, I was rejected, I was rejected. It doesn't mean that maybe your application was not good. It's just that since the announcement that Tech Nation was no longer going to be the endorsing body, it sort of has been very funny, and yeah, that's all I'm going to say. Right? And I really hope that this video helps you. So now let's get started. I'm going to be looking at my screen because I need to make some clarifications while I am speaking. Now, you need to understand that the Global Talent Visa is not only for people in tech. A lot of people assume that this visa is for only people in tech. No, if you're in fashion, engineering, law, education, name it, architecture, it is there. You have something for you. There are the endorsing bodies, which I am going to put in the comment section, the various endorsing bodies for each of these categories, and you can go there and apply. You can check out the links and see what it takes to apply. However, I am speaking from the place of someone in tech. My experience has also been, I've also used my experience to help people, say, in the fashion space to put their evidences together. And that's because for the fashion space, some of the things that I require from them are like very straightforward. So, I mean, with my experience, I was able to know how to help, right? So that has been established is not only for people in tech. If you're in fashion, education, you should apply. You should seek to apply. Now, why is this visa amazing? Number one, it's a clear path to citizenship. And this is so because the endorsement comes in two categories. So you could be an exceptional talent or you could be a promising talent. You know, the exceptional talent gives you 3 years visa and the promising talent gives you 5 years visa. So that means that after 3 or 5 years, depending on the one that you get, you will be able to apply for your ILR directly, right, and begin your journey to citizenship. So I hope this explains it as simply as it can be. Now, how does it work? You have to apply to the endorsing body first. You have to apply to them first, and when you're endorsed, you can then go ahead to apply for your visa and then you travel to the UK, right? So that's how it works. It's two categories. The moment you get your endorsement, you go on ahead to apply for your visa and then you can make your travel or you can make your trip. Now, what are the things that you need to put together? And I am going to be looking at the government website, and I'll also put the link there for you, for each of the categories as well. I'll put it for you there, so that you see the documents that you need to get. Right now, as a talent, the first thing that you need to have, sorry, my husband is distracting me. The first thing that you need to put together is your CV. You have to have your CV. You have to get 3 letters of recommendation. And these letters of recommendation, I will advise that they come from senior executives in the companies that you have worked in your letters of recommendation. They must be able to say how they got to know you, you know, what your role is, the results that you got while you worked with them, how long they've known you, and they have to say a reason why they feel you should be endorsed, right? So when I say senior executives, I'm also referring to C-suite executives. I'm referring to founders of companies. These are the people I'm referring to. But it is not about being a founder. Because again, what they say in that letter has to be strong. All right. And it has to be letter headed. You have to also get their CVs as well. All right. Now, it says here that, you have to upload proof of your connection to a technology business if you've been a founder or a senior executive in the last 5 years. Now, just before we go ahead, like I said, I'm making this video for those who are looking to apply in the next 1 to 5 years. Your next step now, as I'm speaking with you now, is for you to go on your laptop or your mobile phone, open the Google Drive app, and create a folder where you begin to put all these things together, right? Begin to your speaking engagements, begin to look for speaking engagements, very important, all right, and not virtual. It has to be physical. And of course, make sure that there's some form of PR. Even if the company doesn't do PR or the organizers don't do the PR, do a PR for yourself. All right, that's what I'm going to say. And when I say do a PR for yourself, I'm not saying a PR where you blow your own trumpet. No, I'm saying a PR where you talk about where the article itself talks about the event, and then highlights, okay, XYZ was a speaker who spoke on this, and he had about say 10,000 or 100,000 attendees. He had top players in the tech space, XYZ, just the PR guys know how to do this better, and you're not lying. The event really happened. So you just do the PR. Okay. Then you also have to, there are about 10 documents that you need to get. So we've spoken about the CV. We've spoken about 3 letters of recommendations. Then you also have to include articles that you have written to establish thought leadership. That's very important. And these articles have to be on top tech websites, right? So I mean it can be on the top websites in your top tech websites in your nation, and you can also explore like the international platforms as well. All right. So I would just say don't play small. If you're going to go big, go all the way, right? if you have the funds for that, actually. Um then by the time I put this link and you go through it, you see for yourself. It says each for the recommendation letters, again we're back to it. Each letters have to say that you are okay. Let me start again. It says that each person who writes this letter must be an established expert in digital technology. This will be judged by technician, and they must have known your work for at least 12 months, for at least a year. All right. Then each letter must be about your global talent application. You cannot use a letter that was written for another reason. So, say for example, you wrote a recommendation letter for you to gain admission to another school. You can't use that for technician for this application, right? You must say how the person knows you, show your achievements, how you would benefit from living in the UK, how you would contribute to the digital technology field in the UK, and explain what plans you have in the future. Now, the letter must also be typed and dated. It must be up to 3 single sides of A4 paper. It must be signed by the author. It must have a telephone number and email address. and the organization's logo and registered address if applicable, and also come with the author's CV, right? We already said this already. So um, articles, about 3 or 4 articles will do. Um, that um, 3 or 4 articles establishing thought leadership. So, say for example, you are applying as a product manager, or say a data analyst, or a digital marketing manager. You have to have written an article teaching people. So, for example, um, a good article that would suffice as a digital marketing manager will be, say, how startups can leverage digital marketing, to 10x their growth or something like that. I'm trying to use the typical headlines that we see from digital marketers, but you can be a lot more creative. So you teach people, and it has to be extensive. You're not just summarizing the thing. You're writing it like in first person, or tell it as a story. When I worked here, part of the things that I did was, number one, I did this, then you explain it. Number two, I did this. So, just explain it, you know, and then you put it out there as an article. Then the next thing is that if you're saying that you're a founder, you have to include your last set of audited accounts, and your financial projections and articles of association. That's something closely tied to, say, your business is registered, right? You also have to show domestic or international sales, showing customer numbers for each country in which the company is operating. So if you say your company is operating in Nigeria, they want to see how many sales you've made, maybe this time per state. Okay, so for example, I've had 100,000 customers. Of that 100,000, how many of them are from Lagos or live in Lagos? How many of them live in Abuja? How many of them live in Kano? How many of them live in Bayelsa? How many of them live in Nasarawa? These are things they want to know, right? Then that's not all. You also have to write a personal statement. You have to write a personal statement, and your personal statement is more or less your story. You know, I like to say it's your story. I like to start from, maybe when I was younger, maybe something. So for me, I would say when I was younger, I already knew from the get go. My parents figured it out that I was good with, gadgets. I loved to be with the radio. I love to be with the laptop. I love to, the gadgets. I liked all of that. You know, I remember the first time my father came to the house with a laptop, and of course, by that time I knew about the internet. And yeah, I I was so excited to try out every website my computer teacher had already given us as examples in class, right? And I went to schools where the desktop, the desktop, I was going to say the desktop laptops, the desktop computers existed, and we use it to play games, to design stuff, and all those things, right? So um for me, for someone like me, I would start my story in that manner, and then talk about how I got into my career, and just take them on a journey pretty much. You also have to talk about why you want to come to the UK, why you feel you should be endorsed. I would also talk about where I intend to stay in the UK and why. So if you say, for example, you want to say live in London. Why? Is it directly connected to your business? And please, guys, this is not a template or something. I'm just saying how I would approach it. Okay, good. Now you can have a better way. Just be you, do you. Right? Good. Okay. So at the end of the day, you have to have about 10 documents. At the end of the day, you have to have about 10 documents. um yeah, I think that is pretty much it, to be honest. So let's go over it again. 3 letters of recommendations. Say you have 3 articles showing thought leadership, or say 2 articles and one say one article. Let's leave it at 3 articles, so we have 6. You have your personal statements, then that's 7. Then when it comes to the business, you want to show, for example, if you're a founder, you want to, show your accounts, you want to show your articles of association. What else they say you want to show? All those things. Now, if you're an employee, please, I need you to understand that now is the time for you to, for example, if there's a sales dashboard, please do a screenshot. If you have access and you're given permission to do that, do a screenshot. So, because you want to say, oh, in the first 6 months of launching as a product manager, I led the team, or as a product marketing manager, I led the team on the launch of the product. And in the first 6 months, we had about 200,000 customers processing, say, about $1 billion. You're just calling numbers. They need to see a dashboard, right? They need to see something. So you need to show them that. If you've received any form of awards, amazing stuff, that will do as well. Where you show that you've received an award. That's pretty much for people in the talent space as well. That will work for you. So you need to be able to show evidences. So things from like your PRDs, the business plans that you set up in the company, your marketing dashboard. So you say, for example, I took the company's email, I grew the company's email list from 0 to 500K. If I were you, I would do like the day we opened it to 0, and then the screenshots of when it was 500 with the date showing, and possibly your name and the name of the company if possible. So you do that because you want to be as open as possible. I'm going to write all of this in the comment section, all of the links, the documents, everything, the government website where you can go and read for yourself. But these are things that you need to put together. All right. Remember, screenshots of dashboards, PRDs if you have them, business plans if you have them. If you work in, if you do something, if you did something sales related, you want to put all of the figures. Even if na Excel sheets wey plenty, put them. All right, put them. Like I said earlier when I started this video, there has been a lot of conversations around the fact that, oh, a lot of people have been rejected, but again, there are also people that have been accepted. What you need to know is that your stories have to align, and then you just leave the rest to God, to be honest. You just leave the rest to God, because it has become a lot tougher now. I must say, based off of what people have been saying, it has become a lot tougher. Something that maybe if you applied say last year with those evidences, you would have been accepted, but putting it forward now, people are wondering what is going on here, right? So just do your best, put your application together, and this is not to deter you, because who knows, tomorrow the policy may change and it may just be in your favor, right? So yeah, I hope this video helps you. I tried as much as possible to break this down in plain English. The documents that you need is 10. It's just 10, but that 10, you will have to put a lot of work to put it together. All right, that's just it. It's just 10 documents, but it's a whole lot of work. And of course, it comes with fees that you need to pay. I think when you're submitting, I think it's about £456 when you're submitting your application, if my memory serves me right, right? And then once that goes through and your application comes back, I think if you're outside Nigeria, it takes about 4 weeks, if I'm correct. And if you're in the U, if you're outside the UK, it takes about 4 weeks, and if you're within the UK, it takes about 8 weeks, right? But again, the response can come on or before that, the day, right? So um I encourage you to put forth and try as much as possible to explore, especially to those or for those who are in other industries. Click on the links I'll put, and just check how you can get started and begin to explore. The world is your oyster. There's a whole lot that you've not seen, and I know that when you see, especially if you're someone who has a creative or an impact or an entrepreneurial mind, when you see more things, you will be inspired. They say the eyes of your mind will be open, and you'll be able to do more. So I wish you all the best. And if you have any further questions, please remember to put them in the comments below and I will be happy to answer. Bye, guys. Subscribe, comment, share. See you next time.